connectors, adapters and couplers, standard hydraulic coupler, 90-degree adapter, 3-jaw swivel coupler, needle and adapter, flexible hose versus fixed tube. The decision to use flexible hose or a fixed tube depends on the machine's grease fitting type and ease of location, as well as type of grease gun used. For example, a hard to reach location would benefit from a flexible tube. On the other hand, lever style grease guns require both hands to pump the grease and would favor the fixed tube alternative. Accessories: grease gun meters can be retrofitted onto a grease gun to help optimize lubricant consumption. Plastic caps provide benefits such as preventing corrosion and debris. They also can be color coded so that cross contamination does not occur. Other accessories such as sonic ultrasonic devices are also available. Grease fittings, pressure relief vent fitting, flush type grease fitting, standard hydraulic grease fitting, button head fitting. Grease fittings have several names such as jerk fitting, grease nipple or elimate fitting. This is the lubrication point where the grease connector is attached. The standard hydraulic grease fitting is the most commonly used for standard application. It can be either upright or angled. The button head fitting is ideal for good coupler engagement when large volumes of grease are being added. A flush type grease fitting is preferred when space is limited for standard protruding fittings, while the pressure relief vent fitting helps prevent higher pressures that could lead to damaged seals. Working for pressure grease gun. Step 1. Begin by pulling the plunger back. You will have to rest it in the tool body's catch. Step 2. Now you need to unscrew the body from the hand. In some cases it can have a old grease tube which you will have to remove. Step 3. Remove the existing grease cartridge and open a latest lubricant cartridge. You will have to insert the new lubricant cartridge into the tube. Before doing it is important to check the manufacturer's guidelines. Step 4. In the next step, you will have to screw refitted tube tightly, followed by giving one full turn. Step 5. Retighten the cylinder to the grease gums of the body by pushing the plunger back. Step 6. Check the nozzle by pumping a small quantity of lubricant. This is in case you happen to replace old grease with new grease. High grease gun pressure. A high pressure manual grease gun is designed to deliver from 2000 to 15,000 psi. Applying too much pressure while greasing will damage the bearing seals, which rarely handle more than 500 psi. Symptoms of high grease gun pressure include collapsed bearing shields, damaged bearing seals, grease driven into electric motor windings and safety and environmental issues. Output is measured. It is common for maintenance departments to have a wide variety of grease gun types, makes and model. It can cause grease-related disorders due to cross-contamination and inaccurate knowledge of each grease gun's output per stroke. Grease guns are known to vary in the amount of grease that is output from 0.5 grams to more than 3 grams. This inconsistency depends on factors such as the type, model, and age of the grease gun. Screw down grease cup. Single point automatic grease lubricators are refinements of the old compression grease cup. Grease cups are small containers filled with grease that are fitted to the bearing. Figure 1. Original single point lubricator. The principle of operation is to force the grease into the bearing by running down the cap or piston covering the grease charge. Here you can see this in this figure: vent holes, universal spring, O-ring, lubricant chamber, sidewall tapered, base O-ring, grease fitting, flow plugs. The next development in this line of products is the spring-loaded grease cup. The spring-loaded lubricator, a simple refinement of the compression cup, is accomplished by replacing the screw-down cap or piston with a spring-activated leather-packed plunger. This plunger, when engaged by the spring pressure, slowly forces grease into the bearing. Either of the two types of grease cups is recommended for use under conditions of wide temperature variations where the consistency of the grease may be fitted. Single point lubricators differ from traditional grease cup by employing either a spring or an expanding gas pressure, or to exert a force on the cap, piston, or diaphragm in contact with the grease volume. These continuous force grease injection devices are screwed into the threaded grease pot. They range in size from 2 to 10 hose, 60 to 250 cc of grease capacity, and can develop pressures as high as 65 psi for bar.